It's 10 o'clock. I'd like to call the May 11th, 2015 Personnel Finance meeting to order, please. Unless there are any changes, I need a motion and support to approve the agenda.
So, support.
We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion passes. Next up, we have public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Apparently not. Move on to section 4. Need to approve the minutes from April 13th, 2015. Motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Move on to 4B, Finance. Welcome, Mr. Latham.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. We're presenting to you the financial statements for the first quarter ended March. Therefore, the benchmark is 25% of the year. Actual expenditures are above that at 26.4. However, if we look at historical trends, each year the first quarter is above historical trends. Basically, we're pretty much on track for the year based on the last 3-year average. And revenues relative to the history is a little bit behind the pace, but again, that's a function of the cash that we receive to date. So, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions or discussion? I have a question.
Yes, sir.
It seems like every year we always come in a little bit under our budgeted money. How long can we keep doing that? Are we over budgeting, or are we over budgeting on purpose a little bit, or are we just every year we're a little bit better handling our money, the department heads and elected officials?
If you're asking, in other words, our expenditures at the end of the year are usually less than the budget. Typically, I mean, historically, I think we've had, for lack of a better term, we've had a cushion in the budget. In other words, when we anticipate our cost, we're making an estimate, and the actual costs come in less. That's good news. I think over time, because of our, funding issues or whatever, we're coming closer to being, there's less cushion in the budget. In other words, we're running a lean budget, so to speak. And again, that's appropriate. We don't want to budget for something that's not going to happen, and so forth.
I think it's a tribute to the folks we have.
Yeah.
And I commend them on that. Just wondering if we're getting too close. One of these days we'll come in on the wrong side.
Well, that's always possible. Again, yeah. But that's why we have to project, and we have to monitor it as we go along. But there's always unforeseen events, and historically we've discussed those items, that things happen during the year. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Latham. Next up, we have the report from the Jackson Transit Authority. Anybody here? Apparently not. We'll have to read it ourselves, unless they come in a little bit later. Department of Aging, we have a budget adjustment. Pretty straightforward. Are there any questions?
I'd move to approve the budget adjustments.
We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Thank you, Board. Motion passes. Moving on. Next up, facilities. Item E, refurbished office furniture for the clerk and probate. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Yeah, before you, a pretty straightforward request to purchase utilizing the State of Michigan My Deal program to purchase office furniture for the clerk's remodeling project.
Commissioner Elwell.
Just two questions, Rick. You've got the amounts in there of it, obviously, and the total amount allocated, and if this is approved, it'll still be within the total budget, including the remodeling portion also?
It was included
Okay.
in that, yes.
And then the second thing, I'm assuming that Amanda's okay with the recommendation of what you're going to purchase, or? Okay. Thank you.
She had an integral part in this.
I'd move the request.
Support.
We have a motion.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Just take a moment real quick to introduce Mark Jackson. He's our new golf superintendent here with the Cascades Golf Course. If anything technical-wise, I will defer to him. But it's pretty straightforward. Under Mark's leadership and the staff, we're looking at creating a top dressing program that we have not done in the past at the golf course to increase the quality of play. It is also an extension of when we were meeting as a golf ad hoc committee that this type of equipment would be advantageous to increase the quality of the greens. We have in the past only really top dressed in the fall, but we're looking to do it every 2 to 3, 4 weeks to increase the quality of the greens through the course of this summer. We did receive 3 quotes. Spartan Distributors was the lowest and best bid at $16,036, and I'm recommending the Personnel and Finance Committee to authorize the purchase of a Turf Coat top dresser at a cost of $16,036.
God, is it going through the My Deal program? I didn't note anywhere in the document that that's noted.
There was nothing for this type of equipment on that site.
Okay.
So we received 3 quotes. And what we did, too, as a group, we deferred a large piece of equipment, which is a fairway mower, in order to make this purchase. So we basically reevaluated what our needs and wants were, and we deferred the purchase of that, and that'll be pushed back in the capital improvement project to later years under Mark's leadership. We'll find out when we need to purchase that again, or ask for a purchase and replacement of that. Yes, Sarah?
What do you do? I mean, you said you rented before. How often did you do it before when you rented from, did you rent from other facilities, or did you rent from, where did the top dresser come from in the past?
My understanding, at least before I got here, they had borrowed a piece of equipment from Ella Sharp, and then last year we actually had Spartan allow us to use one of theirs as a demo product. And then after doing so, found that it would be much more advantageous for scheduling and being able to work around tournaments in the golf community to actually own our own, and that way Mark could control everything from his end and making sure that we have the proper timely applications of the top dressing material.
How long do these, what kind of life cycle do these have? Do you have any idea?
What would you say, Mark?
Oh, at least 10, 15 years probably. You're only using it 3 times a month, or once every 3 weeks, is what I'm trying to say. And basically, that's about all it's going to get used for, is that specific top dressing program.
And we're also able to do the tee boxes
Yeah.
also.
And once we can do the tees with it too, once we get to that point.
I'm not a golfer, so I'd never heard of it before. Just wondering. Commissioner Elwell.
Scott, Turfco is the brand of it. If there were a different model, would potentially a different model be eligible for state My Deal or not?
Not that we could find, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Unless there's further discussion, need a motion and support to send us, well, it doesn't go to the full board to make this purchase.
I'd move the motion.
We have a motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, got to move on to J. 5th Street Streetscape Project. We need the salesman. This could be a tough one.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. We don't have any new news to report since the study committee meeting on this. Everything appears to be in order. We've double verified with MDOT that our procedures are workable and that everything would be in order.
Thank you. Commissioner Elwell.
I'm going to support doing this, but I had apprehensions that I expressed at the study session. I don't like doing it this way. I think our administrator echoed some of my thoughts on it. I'm willing to support it this time, but in the future, I don't think I'd necessarily be supporting doing this. But I'll move this request and we'll support it through the process.
Dr. Rice, would you like to add anything to this?
Funny guy. No, I do believe we thoroughly cover this during the study session. So, and again, this is not something that we wanted to end up doing, and I agree. It's hopefully something we don't have to do in the future. But in this case, again, this project's been waiting long enough, so I appreciate all the work. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Need a motion and support?
So moved.
Okay, we have motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? None. Unanimous. Goes to full board. Thank you.
Very much.
Well, moving on to the claims, I need a motion and support to pay the claims.
I want to say something about the claims. The claims were from March that were presented to us, so I have not seen the April claims at all.
Okay. Adam.
I've been in conversation with the upstairs. She's reprinting them now, but if that's so. Anyway, we don't. Commissioner Leitner's correct. She caught the error. It's punched in the wrong dates. So.
Are they going to be here yet today?
Well, I asked her to print them, and she says they're running right now. But
Commissioner
They're,
Elwell.
they're prepaid anyway, so we technically could approve them next month, correct? We're approving them after the fact regardless, correct?
right.
Are we comfortable with moving this motion along?
Or just leave it in no motion, right?
Okay. We will move on to the next item then. Other minutes, there are none to consider. June reporting schedule. I know we have finance. I believe we have the treasurer again. And let me get there. And the IT department. Any committee, any public comment? Again, we have no public comment. Committee member comment? Meeting adjourned.